Indiacharts publishes Nifty daily video updates, the weekly Elliott Wave outlook, and the long short report covering all asset classes.
Hi everyone, I'm Jay Vora. I'm the market analyst at Indiacharts, and today in this video we'll be discussing the impact on the Nifty IT stocks when the USD INR is rising. So normally you would have heard that the rising USD INR is good for the IT stocks, right? So while this might be true for the medium term, but this may not be the case necessarily for the short term. Now this is what we had explained to our subscribers through this article which we have published. So let us look at this article. In fact, in the chart which was published, you can see that when the USD INR was falling, the Nifty IT index was rising. Whereas when the USD INR was rising, there has been a negative correlation and the Nifty IT index was falling. Now you must be wondering that why does the media then says that the falling USD INR is good for the IT stock. So while there might be a correction in the IT index and there might be 1 or 2 days of pop, so this is where the media comes and they tell that the falling dollar is helping the USD is helping the Nifty IT stocks, but this is not true as you can see in this chart. So let me explain you why. When the USD INR is rising, that typically happens when the stock market is in a bear phase. Now when the stock market is in bear phase, that means that it is falling, and if the stock market will fall, then most likely the Nifty IT index will fall as well. So that is why we see a negative correlation in the short term. In fact, I have the chart dated from 2008, and we can look at the movement of the Nifty IT index when the USD INR has been rising or it has been consolidating. So let's look at the comparative chart of the USD INR and the Nifty IT index. And over here you can see that in 2008 when the market was correcting, that had put an upward pressure on the USD INR. Okay, and that had also led to a fall in the Nifty IT index. But you can see that when the USD INR sort of stabilized and it trended a bit lower, you saw a massive rally in the Nifty IT index. So similar has been the phase later on as well, and you can see that over here as well when the USD INR it actually rallied all the way from I think 45 levels to 69 levels. Okay, so that time you could see that the USD INR you can see that the Nifty IT index was flat, but as soon as it saw some correction and later on when it stabilized, so you could see that the Nifty IT index was picking up. So this has been the case all along. So you can see over here as well that when the USD INR was rising, you could see some bit of consolidation and downward trajectory in the Nifty IT index. But as soon as the USD INR, it fell and it consolidated a bit, you saw an upward trend in the USD INR. Now, the reason, like I stated earlier, is because when the USD INR is rising, okay, it leads to a bear phase in the market, and because there is a bear phase in the market, it leads to a correction in the Nifty IT index as well. But the reverse is true as well, that when the USD INR is falling, it is often accompanied by the rally in the stock market, and when the stock market rallies, there is a good chance that the Nifty IT index rallies as well, because it is a subset of the stock market. So that is why you see all these phases occurring. In fact, this had been the case over here as well when in 2020 when there was a sharp fall due to COVID. Even Nifty IT index saw a very sharp correction. But once it stabilized and it started inching a bit higher, you could actually see Nifty IT index actually rallying. And now in the very recent past, this has been the case as well, wherein the Nifty IT index has been falling and the USD INR has been rising. Now this is putting some pressure on the market as well, and that is why you are seeing the Nifty IT index falling as well. But the guess is that as soon as the market stabilizes a bit and the USD INR stabilizes a bit, and it starts probably falling, then there could be a pickup in the Nifty IT index too, or there might be a short term bounce in the Nifty IT index as well. So like I said, that a falling USD INR means that there is more demand for rupee. Generally, when there is more demand for rupee is because the FIs are putting money in the market. So when they are putting money in the market, it is often accompanied by a rally in the stock market, and hence you see the Nifty IT as well rallying, because again that is the subset of the stock market. So the while people speak that a rising USD INR is good for the Nifty IT index. So yes, that is the case, especially from the medium term perspective, but that is not really true from the short term perspective, like I had shown you through this example. I hope this video was useful for you, and that's all for today's video. Thank you.